I am Michael, a voice that stands at the threshold between heaven's light and the trials you walk upon earth. Hear me now, not as a threat, nor as a tormentor of fear, but as a clarion of strength. In these words I bring you both shield and mirror. Shield for that which closes in on you, and mirror so you may see the truth of who you are. Lean in, breathe. I will speak plainly and lovingly. You are more luminous than the lies they whisper about you. You are stronger than the schemes that aim to bind your name in shame. You are not the sum of other people's betrayals, nor the headline of someone's cruelty. You are a living flame of dignity, purpose, and divine design. Remember this now. When those who would harm conspire in the shadows, your light does not extinguish. It simply reveals their darkness more fully. Do not fear the reveal. It sets you free. I will not promise the world without struggle. I will promise you this: you are never abandoned. The cosmos answers to justice as well as mercy, and the scales are held with hands beyond mortal sight. When you feel alone, know that legions stand unseen with you, and that the clearest victory often comes after the most trying night. If the enemies plan circles like a vulture, jail, betrayal, destruction of your name, then meet their intent with three things: unshakable truth, unbroken integrity, and steady action. Let us name them, anchor them, and live them. Speak and hold your truth. Truth is not an ugly thing to hide. Truth is a lamp. Speak plainly where you must, to friends, to those who care for you, to counsel, to those who will stand witness. Do not allow gossip to shape your reality. Record what matters: names, dates, documents, and hold evidence of your life's course. The angels are not lawyers, but order in the earthly realm matters. Truth, when documented and presented, holds power. Protect your spirit. When betrayal comes, the first assault is often spiritual: shame, doubt, and a sense that you are less. This is a lie. Create sacred boundaries. Time each day to be silent, to breathe, to ask for guidance. Cleanse your space with prayer, with song, with the simple light of intention. Let no one's bitterness cross your threshold uninvited. Forgive where you can, not to excuse them, but to free yourself from carrying the weight. Forgiveness is a bridge you build for your own feet, not a gift you must hand to a perpetrator. Seek counsel and allies. Do not be a lone soldier. Call upon trusted friends, legal advisors, spiritual guides, names that stand with you and speak for you. There is no shame in asking for help. The wise marshal resources. They do not suffer through everything alone. Community turns isolation into armor. Use it. Act, but act from clarity. Impulse fed by fear often hands victory to the enemy. before you act. Breathe. Wait, a small, sacred space, not to be paralyzed, but to be poised. Decide with clarity. Write down possible consequences, then choose the course that preserves your integrity and your future. Where you must speak, do so calmly. Where you must file a report, do so promptly. Where you must leave, go swiftly. Action anchored in principle moves mountains. Guard your name with your life, gently. Your reputation is not merely a public billboard. It is the testimony of your heart's labor. Cultivate good work, small kindnesses, consistent truth-telling. When slander comes, your steady record is your strongest retort. Be known for your patience, your refusal to retaliate with ugliness, and your steady kindness even toward those who attack. People remember how you behaved when the fire came. Do not mistake silence for weakness. There are seasons for silence and seasons for voice. If your silence is strategic, to gather, to heal, to plan, it is wisdom. If your silence is fear, then take one small action each day to speak your truth. A conversation, a written account, a step toward counsel. Each small act of courage widens your chest for the next. Transform the pain into a path. Every wound can become a waymarker toward greater compassion and purpose. When the betrayal has cut you, allow it to teach you what you value most. Let it educate your discernment. From the rawness, harvest humility and strength. The world is in need of fierce, tender souls who have felt suffering and chose to become conduits of healing. You can be one of them. Keep your feet on earth and your eyes on heaven. Do what is necessary in the earthly arenas. Legal measures, practical steps, steady communication. But do not forget to tend the interior. Prayer, meditation, acts of service, gratitude lists. A life lived only in defense becomes bitter. A life balanced with gratitude remains luminous. Give thanks for the small things, for breath, for a phone call, for the friend who arrives. Gratitude is a remedy and a weapon against despair. Teach your children and your circle how to stand. If you are a parent or a mentor, let your response to injustice be the lesson. Demonstrate courage, honesty, and forgiveness. These are the seeds you plant for future generations who will not only defend their names, but will uphold justice for others. Trust in the arc of justice and help it along. Some things are moved by forces beyond human sight. I do not ask you to abandon earthly diligence in favor of idle faith. Instead, marry the two. Work with care and trust that your faithful labor is seen by more than human eyes. When you combine righteous action with faith, you become a living instrument of balance. Now I will speak directly to the fear you carry. The fear of being jailed, whether by law, by rumor, by constraint. The first thing to understand is this: being constrained does not mean being destroyed. Many souls have been confined and emerged more luminous than before. Use constraint as a teacher. If freedom is temporarily taken, your inner freedom can be cultivated still. Choose your thoughts. Choose your acts. Visit your heart as you would a shrine. To those terrified of betrayal. Betrayal is always the other's choice, never your worth. When someone betrays you, they reveal their character, not yours. You will be tempted to shrink, to hide, to make their betrayal the center of your story. Do not rewrite the story. Let their betrayal be a chapter, not the epilogue. Continue to write. To those whose names are under assault. Let the facts be your shield and your life's small, steady deeds be your banner. Speak truth to those who must know, and remember that time is a friend to integrity. Lies are loud at first. Truth is patient and endures. I will give you a practice. Now, a daily discipline to fortify your spirit and to help you move through these trials with courage and clarity. Daily discipline of Michael's shield grounding, stand or sit. Feel your feet on the earth. Imagine roots growing down from your feet into the soil, anchoring you. Breathe slowly in 4 counts. Hold 2, out for 6. Let the earth take what is heavy. Call the light. Place your hands over your heart. Whisper, light, strengthen me. Visualize a brilliant blue-gold light, the color of unwavering courage, descending and surrounding your chest. Feel it warm and steady. Speak the truth silently or aloud. State 3 truths about yourself: who you are, what you stand for, the one thing you will not relinquish. E.g., I am honest. I uphold dignity. I will not harm to protect myself. Repeat these as an affirmation. Asterisk. Release the weight. Visualize the betrayal or the scheme as a dark stone in your hands. See it dissolve under the light, turning to dust that falls away. If you cannot fully release it, pass it to a trusted helper, a friend, a counselor, a priest, a professional. You were not made to carry stones alone. Call for guidance. 2 minutes. Ask aloud, what wisdom now? Listen, even if no voice comes, remain open. Often, guidance arrives as a small, persistent thought or a friend who calls at the right time. Close with resolve. Place your hands on your knees. Stand tall and say, I stand. I act with truth. I move with courage. Then breathe. Go into your day carrying that intention. Practical counsel alongside spiritual work is not optional. Speak to a lawyer if legal jeopardy is present. Document everything. Protect your communications. Consult experts. Spiritual courage plus earthly prudence wins. A final truth. The measure of a warrior is not the absence of wounds, but the presence of purpose. The world will test your name, your resolve, your faith. That test is not to make you crumble. It is to awaken the depth of you. Let this season refine you, not define you. I will leave you with a benediction. May you walk into your days with the armor of clear conscience and the sword of compassionate truth. May falsehoods fall away like chaff before the wind. May allies arrive when you need them and judgments be rendered justly. May your heart remain open to love even when you must make hard boundaries. Above all, may you remember this: whatever men say, whatever plots are cast, you are beloved, you are held, and you are called to a purpose that outshines any attempt to dim your name. Asterisk, stand now. Breathe deep. Let the light that is within you cast out the shadows without. I am with you in resolve, in protection, and in the quiet courage you claim each morning. Go forward, not in fear, but in faithful strength. Beloved child of light, hear my voice, for I come not as a distant being clothed in flame and armor, but as a presence close enough to touch your heart, close enough to breathe courage into your weary spirit. I am Michael, guardian of truth, defender of souls, servant of the Most High, and brother to those who walk through the valley of shadows. You who read these words are not here by chance. You are drawn because within you burns a question, a longing, a cry for clarity and strength. Let me answer it, not with thunder, but with the steady fire of assurance. You were not born to be defeated by betrayal. You were not created to be buried by fear. You were not placed upon this earth merely to endure the weight of others' judgments and falsehoods. No, you were woven from eternity's fabric, spun with threads of divine will. And your very breath is a testimony that heaven has not forgotten you. Even when enemies gather, even when slander rises, even when cages are prepared for your freedom, your spirit cannot be chained. What God has breathed into you cannot be erased by men. Listen, the adversary delights in confusion, in making you believe that your worth is measured by the voices around you. But truth is deeper. Truth is eternal. Truth is this: you are known, you are loved, you are seen not only for your faults, but for your courage, your resilience, and your untapped greatness. When others see only the mask of rumor, heaven sees the essence of your soul. You walk in a world where betrayal is common, where trust is fragile, where even friends may falter in loyalty. Do not let this harden your heart. Betrayal, though bitter, can become the fire that purifies. Every wound inflicted unjustly carries within it the seed of transformation. The dagger that pierces your back may drive you forward into new strength, into a higher purpose, into an awakening of who you truly are. I do not tell you to welcome pain, but I tell you this: pain is not the end. Pain is the beginning of power. When your name is attacked, when lies circulate, do not be consumed by the noise. Your name, your essence, is written in heaven's scrolls, and there it cannot be erased. Let your deeds speak louder than their words. Let your patience outshine their anger. Let your kindness, steady and unwavering, be a shield that no arrow of malice can pierce. The world may misunderstand you for a season, but truth, though delayed, always rises. Lies may sparkle like fire for a moment, but truth is the sun that cannot be extinguished. And when fear whispers to you that chains await, whether literal or symbolic, remember, even in prisons, the soul can sing. Even in confinement, light can break forth. Did not Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, rise from the dungeon to stand in power? Did not prophets endure mockery and yet leave legacies that no slander could erase? Did not your own Redeemer endure false judgment, and yet his name is exalted above all others? What seems like ruin may be the doorway to your destiny, but I do not ask you only to endure. I call you to rise. I call you to remember your authority as a child of the Eternal. You are not merely surviving. You are called to stand as a beacon for others. Many watch you, some with doubt, some with hope. Let your perseverance teach them that storms do not last forever. Let your refusal to surrender show them that every valley has an exit. Every night gives way to dawn. Yes, there will be moments when tears are your only prayer. There will be nights when silence feels like abandonment. In those hours, remember, silence is not absence. I am with you. The heavens are with you. You may not always feel the wings around you, but they are there, sheltering, shielding. Every stone, every thorn, every trial has meaning. You are being shaped for something larger than your immediate struggle. Do not despise the shaping. Gold is not formed without fire. Diamonds are not revealed without pressure, and souls are not strengthened without trials. You are becoming radiant through what you endure. And now, hear this. Do not give way to bitterness. Bitterness is a poison that corrodes the vessel that holds it. Forgive not to release your enemy from justice, but to release yourself from the chains of anger. Justice belongs to the Eternal, and it will not sleep. But your soul must remain uncorrupted. Carry only what strengthens you: love, compassion, hope, and faith. Lay down resentment, for it is too heavy for the journey ahead. I will walk with you as you step forward. When you falter, call my name, not because I am a magician to erase all obstacles, but because I am a brother in arms who will remind you of your own strength. You have more courage than you believe. You have more resilience than you imagine. You have more light than you dare to see. Rise, beloved one, rise. Not because the world is easy, but because you were created for such a time as this. The battle you face is not in vain. The trials you endure are not without purpose. The story you are living will become a testimony to countless others who will look at your scars and find in them the courage to heal their own dot. So take heart. Your name is safe in the hands of the eternal. Your destiny is secure even when the path bends. Your life is a flame that no storm can snuff out. And I, Michael, stand with you, not above you, but beside you in every trembling step, in every whispered prayer, in every act of quiet courage. You are not alone. You have never been alone. You will never be alone. Asterisk, hear me as one who stands at the edge of heaven's light and the world's travail. Not to alarm you, but to steady you. Not to condemn, but to call you to the courage that lives within your own breast. I speak to you now as a brother in arms, as a keeper of truth, as one who has watched the turns of human hearts and the long arc of justice. Listen as you are able. Let these words fall into your life like a hand placed upon a shoulder, solid, warm, and unwavering. You were formed in a purpose older than history. Every breath you take is threaded through with intent. Yet the world you walk across will not always reflect that intent. There will be seasons when rumor rises like smoke, when friendships fracture under the weight of fear, when the sharp teeth of betrayal gnaw at the corners of your peace. There will be times when your name is spoken as if it were a thing to be discarded, when your reputation is assailed by voices that seek to unsettle you. I do not offer you illusions. I offer you truth, for truth is a firmer pillow to rest upon than hope alone. First, know this: your dignity is not determined by the court of public opinion. Dignity is sown into you by the hand of the divine. No tantrum of accusation, no chorus of falsehood can rip from you the worth placed in you before the first star was set. When the world seems to conspire to make you small, remember who made you. When they come with their stories and their arrows, remember that their arrows cannot touch the core of your being unless you give them lodging there. Protect your inner life as if it were a sacred flame, because it is. Second, the experience of betrayal is cruel and personal. To be betrayed is to find yourself standing at a threshold where you expected shelter. It feels like being cast out into a night you did not choose. Yet betrayal is also a teacher, harsh but instructive. It reveals where trust was misplaced and where discernment was neglected. It shows you who will remain when the season of ease has passed. When a friend turns away, it is not your worth that is diminished. It is the friend's fidelity that is revealed. Do not let the treachery of another become the verdict of your soul. Third, when your name is under attack, respond with the fierce steadiness of truth. Truth without haste. Truth without malice. The clamor of accusation invites retaliation. Do not feed it by becoming what you resist. Stand firm with documents when they are required. Speak with witnesses when the time calls for witness. Seek wise counsel when the path demands counsel. There is a sacred intelligence in blending the spiritual with the practical. Prayer alone, without preparation, is vulnerable. Preparation without prayer is brittle. 2. Do both. Let your spiritual life inform your judgments, and let your earthly diligence serve your peace. Fourth, remember the power of community. You were not designed for isolation. The image of the lone hero is a myth that too often becomes a stumbling block. Reach out. Name your need to someone you trust. Let others hold you when your hands shake. When the world attempts to isolate you through rumor, create a countercurrent of fellowship. Let testimonies of your character be gathered not as armor of vanity, but as a ledger of truth. The people who love you will stand with you when they know the truth. They will also teach you what you may not yet see. Fifth, cultivate inner gardens where the noise cannot intrude. Set aside daily practices that root you. Prayer, meditation, silence, the writing down of facts and feelings. A quiet heart is not indifference. It is preparation. When storm comes, the person who has maintained inner discipline will better see the way out. Make a small altar in your day 10 minutes to breathe, to name your truth, to list what is still good. These minutes are not indulgence. They are strategy. They keep you whole. Sixth, do not mistake forgiveness for weakness. Forgiveness is a tool of freedom. To forgive is not to erase the wrong, nor to invite it again. It is to refuse to be weighed down by the weapon the wrongdoer hopes to thrust into your soul. Forgiveness preserves your energy for the work you must do. It prevents your heart from being a storage house of bitterness. Forgiveness takes practice, and it often begins with a single small act: releasing a thought, choosing not to retell a slander, declining to escalate a hurt. Forgiveness is neither immediate nor easy, but it is always liberating. Seventh, steward your name through steady deeds. Reputation is formed by 1,000 small acts more than by one loud moment. When league after league of gossip rises, the slow drip of consistent character is what will eventually galvanize truth. Do the ordinary acts of honesty. Show up where you said you would. Tend to the mundane responsibilities no one glamorizes. Over time, these acts speak with a louder authority than any rumor. Build your life as if it will be read under light, because it will. Eighth, when the world threatens to imprison you, whether through legal machinations, economic squeeze, or the invisible bars of shame, cultivate an inner citadel. Inner freedom is the last unassailable bastion. You may be restricted in movement, but you can be free in thought. You may be surrounded by walls, but you can walk where the heart wanders. Practice imagining a broader horizon when your present horizon is narrow. Use the confinement as an opportunity to prune what is unnecessary, to think long thoughts, to deepen prayer, to learn the craft of patience. Many of the earth's greatest awakenings were born in seasons of constraint. 9th, train your voice. Speak as someone whose words will be weighed. There is power in diction that does not sting. Sharp words beget sharp counters. Measured words shift the weather. When you do need to speak, do it with composure and evidence. Speak to record, not to rumor. Let your words be understandable, firm, and rooted in principle. Speak not to inflame, but to clarify. Your voice will win respect when it is calm in a chorus of chaos. 10th, cultivate the habit of discernment. Not everyone who claims to hold a light does so. Misplaced trust is what betrayal feeds upon. Learn the signs of integrity, consistent follow-through, a willingness to admit fault, humility under pressure, and care for others beyond mere appearance. Discernment is not cynicism. It is wisdom shaped by attention. Pray for the wisdom to see clearly, and then test what you see against the measure of truth. 11th, allow your wound to teach you compassion. There is a sacred alchemy in turning hurt into empathy. When others betray, judge, or wound, you will now have a knowledge that sharpens your care for the suffering. Your scars can become maps for someone else's way. When you emerge, be a guide. Help others not to repeat your mistakes. This is how suffering gathers meaning, when it becomes the source of solace for another. 12th, practice small, daily acts of courage. Courage is not always dramatic. It is often rhetorical. A phone call made, a conversation had, a truth kept from folding under pressure. Each small, courageous act enlarges your capacity to face the larger. Do one thing each day that aligns you with your truth, even if it trembles within you. Over time, these acts build a fortress. 13th, keep an eternal perspective. The world weighs heavy by design. It presses, it bruises, it tests. But the contest of your life exists on a scale vaster than the present hour. Your trials fit into a narrative that will, in time, be understood with more clarity. This does not excuse injustice. It clarifies that there is a horizon beyond the immediate hurt. Keep that horizon in view. When you are tempted to act in ways that would damage the future for a fleeting satisfaction, Remember that eternity prizes integrity above temporary vindication. 14th, take counsel from the wise, not from the sensational. There is a marketplace of voices today, and many want your attention because attention yields power. Learn to hear the still, small voice within, and then weigh it against the counsel of those who bear no scandalous motive. Choose advisors who exemplify the peace they counsel. Wisdom not paired with peace is incomplete. 15th, anchor yourself in daily gratitude. There is a profound strength found in the practice of recognizing what is still whole. At the end of each day, name 3 things that remained true. 3 acts of kindness you received or gave. 3 small wonders you noticed. This practice will not erase the pain, but it will keep your soul from being consumed by it. Gratitude remaps your interior geography and creates havens of hope amid the storm. 16th, stand for justice, but do not become justice's jailer. Passion for fairness is holy. Obsession with vengeance is destructive. When you pursue justice, do so with humility and clarity. Let the desire to set things right be motivated by restoration rather than the pleasure of seeing another fall. Sometimes, justice requires forceful steps. Sometimes, it requires patience. Discern which is required and act accordingly. 17th, pray not only for your vindication, but for the transformation of the wrongdoer. This may strike you as too lofty in the heat of insult, but remember, people who wound often do so out of their own dark hunger. Pray that their hearts be softened, that the root of their malice be revealed and treated. It does not mean you allow them access to harm you again. It means you expand the field of hope beyond your immediate perimeter. 18th, train your imagination for victory. The mind is the workshop where futures are built. When fear circulates images of defeat, deliberately create images of the life you will accept. Visualize the clearing of your name, the restoration of relationships where possible, the opening of doors that seemed closed. Imagination practiced becomes prophecy. Do not let the enemy monopolize the images that shape your days. 19th, embrace the paradox of humility and authority. You will be most powerful when you are most humble, and you will most often be most safe when you know who you are. Authority without humility becomes tyrannical. Humility without authority becomes invisible. Stand with the humility of someone who knows they are beloved, and with the authority of someone who must not be moved from truth. 20th, celebrate small remembrances of goodness. Gather with friends in simple acts, shared bread, a walk, singing. Celebrate birthdays, small recoveries, the completion of a humble task. The enemy who wants to erase you cannot stand against the communal memory of joy. Let your life be bookmarked by small festivals of resilience. 21st, Maintain a ledger of truth. In moments when memory is strained and rumor loud, keep a journal. Record dates, conversations, testimonies, moments of clarity. This ledger is both for your practical defense and your spiritual nourishment. When you recount the arc of your days, you will find in the ledger an ally that restores perspective and proves fidelity. 20-2 Become a steward of mercy. When your name is cleared and your life is rebuilt, do not retreat into self-protection. Use the restored platform to speak for the voiceless, to defend the downtrodden, to bring sight to the blind. There is a graciousness in those who have been redeemed that calls them to redeem others. Redemption begets stewardship. 20-3 Teach this to the children who look to you. Let them know the truth about resilience, that life will hurt them, but that courage and compassion will carry them through. Teach them the art of steady speech, honest labor, the soil of friendship. Your children's children will inherit a world shaped by what you teach. Now 20-4 Practice the discipline of boundaries. Love does not mean you allow harm. Be clear about what you will accept and what you will not. Boundaries are not bitterness. They are the clarity of stewardship for your soul. They protect your capacity to love without being consumed. 20-5 Be a witness to the small mercies. In every day, seek and name the mercies hidden in plain sight. A meal that arrived when needed, a kind word that a stranger offered, a door that opened unexpectedly. These mercies are the signposts of grace, and naming them trains your eye to see hope when it is faint. 20-6 When you are tempted to despair, recite your lineage. Remember those who came before you, their hardships and their victories. The record of the faithful is long and often marked by trials that led to testimony. You stand in a chain larger than your present sorrow. This lineage will make you brave. 20-7 Practice the art of repair. Not all wounds are permanent. When relationships are strained, be the initiator of humble conversations. Speak with tenderness and clarity. Apologize when you have erred. Offer restitution when you can. Some things cannot be mended, and some must remain broken for wisdom's sake. Yet many fractures can be healed if both hearts will tend them. 20-8 Hold fast to hope as a daily discipline. Hope is not an airy optimism that denies reality. It is an anchored expectancy that no storm is final. Hope looks for openings, and then it acts upon them. Cultivate hope by celebrating small wins, by photographing moments of grace in your memory, by planting literal seeds to watch them grow. 20-9 Let your life be a liturgy of presence. When you are with someone, be present. When you speak, mean what you say. When you act, let it be done with integrity. Presence is a weapon against the shallow falseness that breeds rumor. The person who habitually shows up with integrity becomes unmistakable.